Well, good evening, everybody, and happy Monday to you. It is Monday, the 28th of October, 2019, and it's really good to be here. Be back with you guys. It's been an entire week as we were in Denver over the weekend, starting with flew in last Thursday, and then just flew back last night. And thank you, Brian. I appreciate that, Bill. It was nice meeting you too. It was nice meeting and seeing so many of you in Denver, or several of you in Denver, that are on our calls, and being able to put faces and smiles to those names that I just see come across the airways. It was a really, really wonderful live event, and at least I thoroughly enjoyed it. Getting a chance to meet everybody and answer some questions, and just enjoy the beauty of Denver. And we got out of there right before all the snow dumped, I think, last night. So we're definitely glad to be here, and we're going to be getting your questions answered. Want to give you a couple of. Seems like I'm loud and clear. You guys can see my screen, and um, sounds like you can hear me fine. Brian always gives me that good sound check and sight check there from Arkansas. So always glad that he's in the house there. And just want to make sure for those of you that may be brand new joining with us today, that you know how to send in your questions. And don't worry about the little hand insignia or icon there. Don't worry about pushing that because I rarely see that. But you just type in your question here in the box and hit send, and you're good to go. So, so we are ready to continue to get your questions answered. And let's see if there's anything else. We did have to cancel last Thursday's webinar, obviously, because we were in Denver and we were traveling. And the next one that we have one next month that we will be having to cancel one Thursday because we will be at a LPG Maximizer 2-day workshop. That's coming up on November 14th, 2019. And if you're interested in getting signed up for the 2-day Maximizer LPG Maximizer workshop, this is the new name for our 2-day Investment Dominator workshop. It's called LPG Maximizer Workshop. It is going to be held there in the Scottsdale location on the 14th and 15th of November. So we're hoping to we have quite a few signed up already. So it's going to be a pretty good sized class, but that's where you get hands on the Investment Dominator for 2 days, and we walk through every aspect of the deal flow. So, all right. All right. Looks like we got a few of you. Bill's going to be there, and we got a few of you that are going to be there that are on the call with us tonight. So great. Good to be able to see and talk with you again. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to share with you other than just hope that you keep in mind and have a little grace on us here. That I did get a couple of comments over the weekend, regarding our call content. I mean, a lot of folks, say it's perfect for their level of the Investment Dominator. Now, there are some of you out there that are more what I call more sophisticated users of the Investment Dominator, and you have been using it for a while doing deals, and so you have another level of question. And I just encourage you to send in your questions. If I can't answer them here on the actual call, um, I will definitely get them answered by the next call because there's so many of you and there's one of me. So we're hoping to be able to get everybody's questions answered. And now I'm looking for my Investment Dominator screen here. Here we go. So just want to make sure you keep in mind we have various levels. Those of you that have been with the Investment Dominator, those of you that are just starting, I have these onboard calls with several of you, and you've just received the Investment Dominator maybe 2 weeks ago. So obviously those questions will be a little more basic, and we encourage everyone to ask their question. Remember, if you aren't getting your questions answered, what I'm hoping you do, because I go back and I look up every single question at the end of this call, and then I make sure that I get it on the next call, like as I'm going to do today. So we do have, you can go in, hit the help function up here, and put in, create a new support ticket, and just put in your question right here in the box, and go on and create a ticket, and that will go to the technical group, and then usually I end up getting that those questions. There was a time back not too many weeks ago where individuals were saying they weren't getting their questions answered even on the call after they put in their ticket. So want to make sure that that does happen. Okay. Okay, on with answering our questions for today, which we had some that came up from the 21st. So it's been a whole week, and we've had a few questions that have come in. So this one came from Kathy on the 21st, last Monday. It says, for a handwritten signature, how do you get it to pull out only the signature and not the background? So for a handwritten signature, okay. So what Kathy is referring to, if you go into my profile, and you have two options. You can either generate a signature, which I carry everybody through that, basic training to generate a signature by just typing in your name. But Kathy is talking about when you come in and you upload a signature, and so that it comes out like this. It looks like, she says, it's got a square box with the signature, and I do understand that. Kathy, let me make sure I got your question there. So when you upload a signature, what happens is you have to crop it. So that's why it appears to have some little box around it. Let's see. But I can assure you that when you do print it out, it will print out without having a little colored box or anything like that. Image file, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to import my signature here. Let's just say if this were my signature, which is in a file, as this is, and it's a .png file. So I'm going to double click, and I bring it in to the box that says you have to crop your signature. And so this is the reason. See right here, let me make sure I get it all. As you have to select that signature, there you go. What's going to happen is it actually does put a little box around the signature, and then I say confirm, and it's going to bring the signature in. Now with my eyes, and I'm close enough to the screen, I can see a slight, looks like a slight little box around the signature. It's just a little off white, but I guarantee you. So now I'm going to just go on, and I'm going to say update signature. This is now going to be what appears on my neutral letters when I print them out. So, and I made it a different color so we could see that. So you come in, you say generate documents, and then we will get a okay. So when we bring it into enable editing, you can see, and I don't know if you can see it, it's in full screen mode, but there is, I do see a slight outline around, Warren Davis. It looks like there's something, it's not exactly a white background, but what I can assure you is when you print this, or it gets printed at, for letterprinting.net, because it is white, and even if it picks up a color print, when it prints out, and I printed it out, several times just so I could see, you can't see any box around the signature. So, thanks, Bill. Yeah, I would encourage you to print it, Kathy, and verify what I'm saying. Either print it to your own local printer, or have them send you a copy of it from the letterprinting.net people, or whoever you use to print your signatures. It won't come out. And then of course the other way to produce a signature is to go in and say generate signature, and of course I all I have to do is type my name. And this one, when you select the right font, of course. And I put a little color in there just so folks can see, really see the signature has some pizzazz to it. Haha. Anyway, you bring it in this way, and of course, this is producing, Investment Dominator is producing this signature. So, and because we're not cropping it, that's the reason why that box or that little film that you see around there does not appear. So, um, I'm hoping that will at least address your question. That's the reason you do see that. If you see a little film or a little box around there, um, that is the reason. So if we move on here, let's see. We had some. So we got a variety of questions that have been coming in. We have some questions coming in even right now, which is great. Question from Amy from last week as well. This I'm going to make sure I get all the questions from last week. Can you change the black background behind the banner text on the buying and their selling sites? And yes, you absolutely can change the background and the color of the background. Let's see, that's from Amy. Yes, and I did get a lot of comments over the weekend, by the way, that the questions you folks ask over the airways, and because some people have gone back and they've listened to a lot of the replays, and they're really appreciative of the questions that you all are asking, because it gives them a chance to sit there and listen to the replay, see me do it on the screen, and they're learning, even though because a lot of folks can't be on the call with us tonight. But we do have quite a few on the call, as a matter of fact, tonight. So maybe some of them are joining us. But anyway, can you change the black background behind the banner text? Yes, you can. And what we're talking about here is, let's just say on the buying site, we have this black, background. And Amy's asking, can we change that? And we absolutely can. We just come up under customize, and you're going to select your buying site, or you can do it for your selling site. Scroll down to where you see menu background color. And even if you highlight this, you can change the color of your website's header information. So we can come up here and let's just say see right now it's black. Let's say if we wanted to make it a gray, which this is not going to look that appealing. I just want to let you know that up front. But if we were to change it to a gray, it's going to look kind of boring. But that's how you change your menu background. And we're going to come down and update the site. And then when you display, as you can see now, you have your gray background, which so you can make it any color really you like. And so then following that up, we had a series of questions. I even got this question over the weekend regarding, what are the other ways we can actually customize our websites, to customize or change the look of them and in other areas. And I just want to quickly go through how you can change that in some of ways. Now, it's obviously it's limited, and I think I have shared with you all that if you let's see, how can you change your banners, backgrounds, etc. Okay, so there's obviously different ways that you can come in, but you always start with customize, and you're going to go into whichever site you want to change. And the only changes that you can actually make are, let's say, to your site banner, which you can see now is the dollar signs. Now, this part I did want to make sure. Yes, you can change background behind. Yes, the background behind the wording. This one has money signs. So if, let's say, you didn't want to just change the color, but you actually want to change the banner, you don't have one that is, we don't have one that you can select, which we don't, and you just want to choose a different background. So this is what it will have you do. So let's just say on this one, if I wanted to come in and choose, let's say, a background, let me go with this one here. Okay, here. Okay, so you can see I have this image. Then the first thing it does, it says crop your photo. So now the reason it says that is because the banners have to be a certain size. So when I crop this photo, so I'm going to take my X, put it over here to the far left. I'm going to left click, hold it down, and I'm going to bring it down, and I'm going to, capture as much of this scene as I can. The Investment Dominator is smart enough to know your banners have to be a certain size, and I believe that size, their pixels, um, the pixel size for a banner is 810 pixels wide and 119 pixels high. So that's what this shape comes out to be. 810 pixels wide, 119 pixels tall. So when I select that part, what I want to point out to you here is this is not a high resolution. This is not a high resolution picture. So you'll see the fact that it's not high resolution, how it's going to come out. So in any case, you can't ever wipe out completely a banner, but what you can do is replace a banner. And that's so this one that's coming in is going to replace this one that's already there. And come all the way down to the bottom, hit update site. I believe we're on our buying site. So then you go back in and you're going to see your buying site now has this part that I replaced, but you can see it's blurry. And the reason it's blurry is because it was not a high resolution background. So what you have to make sure, even though you're going to get the right size, but you want to make sure it's high resolution photo that you're starting with, and because you can't convert it to a high resolution photo in the Investment Dominator. It's got to be done before it comes in. So now that's the way you could change your actual visual site. Let's see. Well, I got questions coming in now. I tell you what. Any case, so anything that is set, you can always, and we have Investment Dominator, you can set it back to the default banner. Certain banners we default, but this is how you could customize your buying site, and you can customize, after they select from your buying site, sell your land for cash or sell your house for cash. Once they select one of those, it has this banner behind it. You're also free to modify those as well the same way. So you can see, we had that for the sell your house, and this one, for the buying site sell your land, we have this banner, the one with the $50 bill on it, and to sell your house, we have this other banner here. Okay, so just let me show you that. So you can see that's the banner behind that. So this is the area that you'd come in to change, and you can change the menu text color. Right now, the menu text is white, and I just want to show you that so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. The menu text up here, it's home, sell your land, sell your house, all that is white. So if I wanted to change that color, I am free to do so. Those of you that are very, creative can come in and, make it real fancy. And let's see, let's just say okay there. So this should be the color of my words now on this gray background. And you do that, update your site. Never forget to update your site. Come in the buying site, and here we have changed our colors. And you can do the same thing for your footer down here. This is your footer, so any area down here, some of these words. Now, all of the words don't get changed for some reason. Probably, oh, well, that makes sense. Probably because these are actual live links, so they will stay white. So that's the reason why I was trying to figure out why they didn't. But so it'll change the basically up to right up to here. This part, this color will change, but this contact us real estate. If you're going to try to change that, those are live links, so it won't allow it to change. So it looks like we have a few questions around this particular functionality. Just let me go back and make sure you understand that it's to set back all, let's say, website modifications. Okay. To default colors or default text or default shades. If you want to set everything back, we have a reset button over to the right, and you hit reset. That changes it back to the default colors. Reset here, it'll change that back to where it was before you started. So you can always just reset it back and then start over again if you don't like it. So that just gives you a little flexibility to go in and be able to play around with your websites if you want them to look a little different than everybody else. And you can also reset the default banner. Okay. All right. All right. Good question from Fernando. And the answer to that is yes, Fernando. Yes, I'm glad to see so many of the new folks on. I'm always glad to see those that tune in with us regularly. Let's see. Fernando asked, can you customize the buying and selling site? Buy and selling to remove references. Yes. To buying and selling houses. Yes. And I've demonstrated this before. It's pretty simple, and I can just go through it real quick so you make sure that you know how to do it. So Fernando is referring to on the buying site where you come up here, you can say sell your land for cash. This is a link, a live link, or sell your house fast. And there are some people that are still doing work with houses, obviously, and some are doing primarily land. I don't think it's going to be long before a lot of folks that are doing with work with houses are back over to they're 100% land folks, and and I won't make any bad jokes about that because really, I mean, I know some friends that have become very wealthy, flipping houses. It just didn't work for me, but I take my hat off to those that are able to make that. So in any case, we have two different links here. You can change those links. You could take care of this one or get rid of this other link to the house just by going in and I believe it's under document template settings, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yes, yes. Oh, nope, nope. I don't want to mislead you. Okay, so it's under customize. And since it's on our buying site, we're going to change the website settings for our buying. So we're going to come here, left click, and you see here where it says manage your buying site menu, this black banner. So left click on that and it brings you to this box. Now you see here you have two different menus. You have or two different sections of the menu. You have one that says not set, and the other one says header menu. And this header menu has the sell your house link, if you will, and that's an active link. So all you do is just left click and hold it down. You have to hold your left click down on your mouse, and you can move this, and you want to drag it up here to the not set area, because now it's going to not be set. And then, so now I get this quite a, well, not quite a bit, but 50% of the time, folks say, Warren, I did exactly what it said, but it still didn't remove the link. Well, because they simply forgot to save. And I don't know why that happens like that, but that's what you have to do. And once you save it, and just for, I always update the site. So you make sure it takes care of all changes for that site. So now when you select your buying site, you see now I just have the sell your land for cash. All right. And then if you decide, hey, I still want to do houses, so you're going to come back to settings, go to website buying, and then go to manage buying site menu, and it's sell your houses here now. So you just left click on that, hold it down, drag it back down to this area, save it again, update your site, and it doesn't make a liar out of me. It should be back there. Okay, so that's the way you're going to handle that. Okay, wow, got a serious question from Natasha there. I'm going to take a little time with that one, Natasha. I appreciate you. I'm assuming that's a question that's coming in. Um, so I'm going to have to address that, and as soon as I can. All right. Um, so I'm hoping, Bill, that you were able to see how to change the background behind any of your wording, like this background, black background here. We went through that, and this is the menu background color. So that's what you would come in and you left click on this black bar over here, and then the color box comes up. You're very welcome, Fernando. Very welcome. The black bar comes up, and then you select your color. Now, in order to change this color in the color solid box, it starts with black, but in order to get it to any of these hybrid colors, you have to come over and select another color in this box. That's just the way it works for some reason. However, I can change it to blue, and then I can come in and select one of these more hybrid colors, and you can see it change. All right, but that's how you're going to change your menu background. And when I click OK, this is going to look really wild. Update site. And then with under my sites, your buying site, and you can see that gives you a nice behind the wording. That's what I'm thinking you're speaking of. The wording behind the text. Oh, that behind the text in the banner. Oh, you're speaking of this wording back here. Get cash for your offer. I do not think so. That is, yeah, that's a default. Yeah, footer. Yep. We just have the capability to change certain, banners. Now, what you can do, Bill. So let me make sure I write this question down so I can get it for everybody. So the question is, can you change the color of background behind text in banner, in the banner. And this can be done. You may have to solicit the help of a CSS coder, which is someone that actually can come in and modify. They could just come in and modify just that text if that's what you want. They could even change the font a little bit. They could actually, change your whole layout if you chose to do so. Remember, I think I shared with you, CSS coder is an individual that can come in and decipher this code over here and the colors, etc., and change the different backgrounds. They know what they're doing. I would never attempt to do that, but they can. A CSS coder can be found on Upwork, or excuse me, I'm not gonna say Upwork, Fiverr. You can go in and advertise or request with Fiverr a CSS coder, but that's basically who, and I think for just a small fee, they could come in and take care of this, and they could put other options or other changes on your site if you want. Me personally, I wouldn't. I would be afraid I would mess it up. So we can reset all of these to be your normal colors, your default colors, and we put everything back the way it was. Okay, so I'm hoping that kind of gives you guys a little guidance of to how you might change your sites. And it's pretty cool. Those of you that are creative and you have an eye for color and that kind, you can do the same thing to your selling site. It comes under customize, and then you go under your selling site, and you can do the same type of modifications: menu background, menu text color, etc. And hopefully that gives you a little freedom, and so you can make your site look a little different than everybody else's. Okay, got a chance to meet so many of you now, so as your name pops up, I can see exactly who you are there. Let's move on here. Okay. Let's see. Possible to add on the main page. Okay. Main page of the buying site. This is still around the buying site. So one thing I meant to do was reset to the default banner. Get on the buying site, Warren. Okay. Set to default. Okay, that's our default. And we update here. Okay, so Carlos, let me make sure I understand your question. Is it possible to add the from owner, I think you're saying from owner information on the main page of the buying site? Oh, so that the seller doesn't get confused. Well, not on the actual site. Again, if you want to change your site in terms of information that's being displayed, Carlos, that's where I was just saying on any of these sites. See, that's the beauty. That's why we have the Investment Dominator set up the way we do, so that individuals that don't get into coding sites but they want a website, so they can have a place where they can display their information. They have a place where their customers can come, and that's what we have the CRM, which is the customer relationship management tool. And your question is, is it possible to add? So if you want to add information on this screen, like the from owner information, the only way you could do that is, again, you'd have to get a CSS coder. So when I went over here and clicked on this and I did inspect, someone that can understand this code and can make the modifications that you need to make. That's it. That's at that level. We don't have it built in to where you can actually mess with any of the information that you see displayed here without actually having to have someone modify the code behind the scenes. So unfortunately, I think that's a no on that one. See, from owner info on main page, because you don't want the sellers to get confused. Well, if they, and I can guarantee you, if they have your URL, your address to your site, to your selling site, they won't get confused. They'll come to the site so that they can sell their property. Okay, and they'll get to you. I guarantee you. It's been going on for, at least for us, for quite a while. And okay, very good questions, people coming in. Very, very good questions. We had a question I promised to handle from last week, and it was asked on the live event. Has to do with adding or customizing the APN number. The APN number to the cover or offer cover letter, cover offer letter. And this came in even as I was, right before I was leaving, from a young lady that basically wants to get the APN number added to one of the documents that's in Investment Dominator. Now remember, we have documents that are built in. So if I go up here right now and I say generate documents, if I want to see an offer letter that's built in, this is an offer letter that's built in. This is an offer cover letter. So there are two main documents that come out of Investment Dominator. They're built in. So I didn't think she was talking about the sale agreement or the offer, because as you can see, the assessor's parcel number is right here. So that's the APN. So that is on the sale agreement. I believe she was speaking of this particular offer cover letter. And of course, Rebecca, if I'm mistaken, I want you to go on and, if you're on the call, go on and let me know that that's not what you were speaking of. But, okay. So as you can see, the APN is not on the offer cover letter. So if I were going to change this, let's see. Thank you for responding, contacting us regarding your property in Maricopa County, Arizona. And I might put at the end of this sentence, I might put the APN number just so that they would know there's an APN number. So in order to do that, we have to do what you call, we have to modify, we have to create a custom letter, custom offer letter. So again, under customize, and there's several articles out there about how to do this, basically. But how do you change or alter any of the custom built-in documentation? You want to customize, and the custom documents. Now, here is where you would add a new a new document. Okay, so to add a new document, of course, you'd hit add new document. Now, I've already got a custom offer letter in the system, so I'm going to just show you how you would use an existing custom offer letter. But there are several teachings that are already in how you would change one of Jack's custom offer letters. Just real quick here, you'd go into search your user guide, left click, and all you have to do is type in Jack and search the user guide. And what's going to come up is a series of how to customize Jack's offer templates, his neutral letter, and if you selected this one on customizing offer, as you can see, there are two different documents that's here. There's this custom offer letter template, which is what we're going to modify. So this carries you through your instructions on how to actually create a custom document. So I'm not going to take time to do that. Wrong one. Going to get back to my Investment Dominator screen here. Okay. Okay, so customizing and custom documents. So I have a series of them already. So I'm going to use this custom offer letter here. And if I do a document preview, this is the one I'm going to change. And I'm going to stick the property. It's in some county. And I'm going to put the APN like right in this area here. For sake of time, custom offer letter. So you have to come over. I'm going to just edit this. And once you get your document to this state where you can read it, it's readable. I'm going to do what we call, I'm going to merge a field in, and I'm going to come right down here, put my cursor right after state, add a comment, and just put APN number, something like that. Okay, so I want the field APN number to go in at this particular point right here. So I'm going to leave my cursor there. I'm going to come up here to this insert merge field, and I'm going to look for property APN. So now this is the field that the young lady told me that she wanted to add, property APN. So it's going to happen. I will update because everything else is going to stay the same. All the other fields are going to stay the same. All the other statuses, you're going to move to the option sent, and you're going to update. All right. So now it updated my custom offer letter, not the actual agreement, but the custom offer letter that goes out with your different offers. Okay, so now that we have that updated and we come up to land deals, if we do generate documents again, so now a lot of mistakes. One mistake that a lot of users make or a lot of students make is they come in, they're looking for their changes to be in this offer or this offer cover letter that they made. But remember, we have a custom offer letter, right? And it's this custom offer letter 01. Anytime you do a custom, Investment Dominator puts it into this section down here, custom document template. So you created a new custom template. And so then we're going to open that up. I'm going to enable editing here. And as you can see, where there is an APN in the data, Investment Dominator puts that APN. Remember we said your APN is whatever, and the field automatically gets put here. Now the reason I did it like that because these documents are already packed the way they are. And sometimes if you add too many lines, then it's going to spill over and it's going to give you 2 pages for your one document. And obviously you don't want that. So you kind of have to put it in wherever you can. If I were to add another line, I just want to let you know that if you ever create a custom document, this is important to do because most students run into this and they get a little frustrated, and I can completely understand it. So when we edit here, if I were to add a line, let's just say under this area here, I'll do a shift and enter, and I add a line, you can see automatically it pushes down my text. So I've got to go somewhere else in this file, and I might have to take a line away, right? I mean, that's not going to look good, but my point is, you know, students come in, they modify the template, and they're adding lines. I'm just saying you may have to come in and take a line away so that the document still fits on one page. And I'm just sharing, that's an FYI to you. You can take my advice or not, but it will save you some frustration with the way your document will come out. Okay, so okay, well now, so that Dean, that's a real good question. I'm going to Dean asked, can you generate documents the same way under house deals? And because I think I know the way Alex codes and his development team, um, it should be the same deal. Now, um, this just handles the house deals area. So if you came in and you did generate documents, obviously we have no um, I have no house deals in my or in this demo file. But the answer to your question is yes. Yes, here's the custom document template. So if you were to create, you were to come under, yeah, the answer to that is yes, you can do that. And because you're under customize and custom documents, then in here, when you add a document, now all these documents have been added um, under land here, right? All of these are land. But when you add a document, if it's for a house, that's one of the first things we select. You select, instead of selecting land, you select the house. And you come down and you start adding your custom documents under house. So obviously, when you go back in, I'm not going to add one, but when you go back into your house deals, and you go into generate documents, your custom documents that you created are going to show down here in the custom document template. And I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to snub anybody that's doing houses. Otherwise I would have put an example in here for you so that you could see that. But that's really the way it'll work. It'll work the same. Um, I've just been in the land since I've been in the business, so I really didn't focus on the house side. But I might put a couple of examples in here just so that you can, anybody else can see that it works the same. Okay. Sure appreciate you guys pointing out these, these discrepancies because it's going to help us get better in how we present our information to you. Okay. Let me see. Let's see. Question about, I'm going to try to get Phil's question in here. I have a question about stacking the printing dates as a self printer So I can do all of my printing, stuffing, and stamping in one day. Okay. Make it. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure, Phil. I'm seeing the question. Not sure I'm understanding exactly what your question is. So you have a question about stacking the printing dates as a self printer. So stacking the printing dates. Let's see. Hmm. So to generate documents, if you were producing all of your own dates or all of your own letters, let's see. Stacking the dates, self-printer, so you can do all of your printing, stuffing, and stamping in one day. All right, 2,000 in one day, so make it more efficient. Want to send 500 a week. Oh, I'm thinking you might be saying you want to change this date that prints here, um, so that you'll know the date that you print 500, and then the next date you print another 500. Oh, okay. Okay, I think I'm understanding. So this date that prints, because it's going to print the date that it gets created, basically. And um, I can understand that. That's a good one. I tell you, if we played the stump the coach deal, or stump the coach here on this particular webinar, I'd probably have some winners, because that's one that is kind of stumping me. I need to figure out how you would do that, Phil, because I know this date that this gets created is just hard coded in the actual system, but there's got to be a way to get at that, and I need to really look into that so it can help you. So let's see, Phil's question. I'm gonna make sure I get that down. Okay, you're gonna produce 2,000 in one day. Um, hmm, yeah, we want to send out 500 a week. Okay, and send out 500 in a week. So I'm gonna move this question to the side. I'm gonna figure out something. It could be in your business process. In your business process, something has got to be able to tell you that this 500 went out this at this time, and another 500 went out another day. And I see what you're saying, Fernando, about adding a one to the date, but it's just that you have to be able to get to the date here. And I'm wondering if there is a way, when we do under customize and we custom documents, neutral letter, new neutral letter. Yeah, let's see if, yeah, this is the current date. That's the current date. But see, because when you print this, you're going to print all of them on the same date. And under mail merge, this is where you would mail merge any other fields. And you see it has the current date here. There's nowhere to have a date +1 capability. Yeah, that's I'm going to have to look into that one. And thanks, Phil. I got the gist. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check this out with Alex to see exactly how to do that. Because right now I'd be taking a big guess. Okay, well, thank you all for giving me a hard one there. That's good. I like those. I like those hard ones. I'm gonna learn something here. This is good. Very good. So I'm trying to think, see if there's a question that is short that I can answer here. I tell you, we just got a few minutes left. Yeah, how fast this time goes by. Very good, people. Let me see if there's anything. Can we delete references to houses on the site? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Elizabeth. Yes, I did cover that earlier. You can definitely delete references, and this is just a repeat of what we just went through. But I want to just real quick. You can play over the first part of this again if I go too fast here. But basically, you're coming under your customize, and you're going to come under your excuse me, your buying site. And you can do the manage buying site menu, and here is where you have your sell your house um, reference or link. And I left click on that, and that makes it movable. I hold it down, hold down your left click on your mouse, move it up under the not set. You move that up under not set, and you just say save. And when you go back to your buying site, you'll see that you only have your sell your land for cash. That's how you remove it. So again, you can play the first part of this over, or hopefully you could play that part very slowly and you'll get it there. Okay. So we had some questions I didn't get to. I wanted to show you guys some kind of some cool things that we've got coming up. Investment Dominator is going to continue to grow, and so you are going to anytime we have updates, I'm going to try to demo to this forum first, so you all can see what is happening. We also have a Twitter page that I think Alex updates, which has the different new facets of the Investment Dominator. So anyway, if I didn't get to your question today, I will get it answered between now and Thursday, and it will be on Thursday's call. Natasha, I will definitely read what you had stated here, and I'll either reach out to you via email if it's not for this forum, but if it is, I want to come back and bring it out on this forum so everybody can have the benefit of your answer there to this question. All right. So just before we go, I want you to remember permanence, perseverance, and persistence in spite of all obstacles, discouragements, and impossibilities. It is this that in all things distinguishes the strong soul from the weak. That's Thomas Carlyle that said that quote. There are going to be some rough times in the business, as in any business, but I guarantee you it will all be worth it when you get that buyer that comes through. First of all, you get that I accept your offer, and then you get that buyer that comes through and says, I want that land and I'm going to pay your price, or maybe just a little bit less than your price, and you're going to be happy all the way to the bank. So persevere and keep going forward. You all are some great people. I had a chance to meet you in person, and just to be on the airways with you is great. Hope you have a great remainder of the middle week anyway, Tuesday and Wednesday, and we'll be back here Thursday at 12 noon. I will look forward to talking with you and seeing you all at least over the airways on Thursday. Take care, everybody. Have a great evening.